This will be a rolling start next time by as they head off on the formation lap. We've got two classes of car. That's Brad Lathrop, who won yesterday in Class 2. They're going to make the job a little bit harder for him here because they're going to reverse. Hi, Brad. He's just seen himself on the big screen, I think.
Yeah,
doing a very good job here, mate.
Down the front chute there.
We're going to reverse the top 5 for Class 2 in this race. So he's got some cars to pass, but I think he's pretty pumped up in there. Cool, he's got this thing fixed up after that little knock on the wall yesterday too.
That was good.
So it's a good effort from his crew to get that car fixed. Speedy Signs entry. Speedy Signs have been on board with him for a few years.
Seat flexing there at the top. So that's the difference between the seat with mount and a V8 supercar, or supercars as they call them now, as they also have a top mount on the seat.
Nice and secure.
Yeah.
So Class 1 cars will start ahead of the Class 2 cars. It's Evans and Ross lining up on that front row. Ross really needs to win that race down to the first corner.
He's got the car speed to do it. Just has to get the traffic right. So they'll catch traffic earlier this race as well with the reverse grid of the Class 2.
Gee, these Class 2 guys need to pick up their act because we're not far away from getting to a start here. Here's how they'll line up. Evans and Ross on that front row. Barry Alexander, watch out for Bargs. Row 3, Matt Tubbs will start off the back of this group. Class 2, well, sorting it all out. It'll be
still coming down the head.
Chelsea Herbert on the pole.
Better get a wriggle on.
Here we go. Watch for that Nissan. Oh, a bit of a rub already between the two. Evans trying to push out as wide as he can to make it difficult for him. It's scrappy between the Class 2 cars on approach to the green flag. Oh, Ross tried to give himself a run-up and missed it terribly.
No start.
There's no green flag.
No, I mean, waved away.
Well, I think that'll be because the Class 2 cars were a bit tardy. Yeah. The reds never went off.
They were a bit tardy and they would have come over that hill with a lot of speed.
Good decision to call that one off.
By the time they got down to turn 1, they would have been carrying probably 40, 50 kilometres an hour more than the guys up front. So could have been a disaster. Best to regroup them. And
well, there's meant to be a visible gap between the two packs, and there clearly wasn't then.
The problem here is that the hairpin, you can't go through there too wide, so you've got to hustle, get round, and then get bunched back up again. If someone doesn't go, there's not much you can do.
Lathrop was seriously pumped up after his win yesterday in his class.
He was, wasn't he?
Loving it.
He was. Obviously,
meant a lot to him.
Puts a lot into it. It does take a lot to go racing, even at this level. A lot of support from friends, family, sponsors, whoever you can get it done, and you see that a lot over here. You walk through the pits and it's all hands on deck in all the classes.
It reminds me of Australian Touring Car Championship 1994-95 era. Lots of privateer teams.
Yeah, lots of privateer efforts.
Here's that little scrape between the front guys. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why he came across.
Oh yeah, Simon not too happy. It gave him one back actually on the front straight for that.
Oh, well, that's good. Hopefully they got a bit of hair up on their back, and you might see a bit of a street fight here. Okay, they're bunched up nicely now.
Nick Ross really needs to get the jump here. Evans, clearly the faster car this weekend, will drive away from him. That Nissan needs a really good start to do exactly what he did yesterday. This will be reduced by 1 lap, but now it looks like we're ready for a clean start. B&T NZ Touring Cars, second race and second time of asking. Looks clean and green, and Ross is going to try exactly what he did in race 1. They bang paddles. Through turn 1 they go. Evans holds tough, and the Smeg Commodore goes back to the point.
Evans a lot more aggressive than he was yesterday.
And Bugs got through to 4th, picked off Alexander down there in turns 2 and 3. Oh, one out wide, Ferrier gets the wall. Big time, scrapes it hard. Put a bit of dust onto the circuit. Evans just covers that inside line down at the Century Batteries corner. It's turn 5. Sam Barry got a really good start in the Toyota. Holden, Nissan, Toyota, Ford. 4 marks in the front 4 spots.
Evans just being a little bit defensive. He really wanted to get in that position a lot earlier than he did yesterday.
Yep. Wasn't wasting any time, not taking anything for chance. Had rising oil temperatures yesterday sitting behind the Nissan, so he knows that he wants nice, cool, clean air out front.
And the Nissan's strong over the hill, coming onto the straight. Looks like it's a lot more comfortable in the dirty end than the Commodore was.
Wow, Bargwanna with a big slide through turn 1. Finished 5th yesterday, couldn't climb his way out of there.
He's just slow in a straight line, Bart, so...
I reckon that camera's seen some things on the opening lap when Ferrier got out there nice and wide. Brad Lathrope picking his way through the traffic.
A run, pulls out, pops a gear, see you, mate.
Passes the 17-year-old schoolgirl. Chelsea Herbert graduated out of the Sanyong series. Oops, Sam Barry's had to...
Chelsea's been doing a great job, getting faster each session.
Barry goes back into 3rd ahead of his teammate Bargwanna. Over the Tony Richards Toyota stable. You've been racing Chelsea's brother Joel this weekend in Sanyongs as well.
Yeah.
Been doing a good job towards the front of the field. You had your hands full yesterday with those things. You were having a serious crack.
That was good fun. It was really good fun.
So check out the start here, Paul. A few guys fanning out nice and early, trying to get a good jump. Nothing wrong with that. Good aggressive action. But wow, Simon Evans.
He was having none of it today.
Yeah.
And you can see he just
covered him off.
Slices in front.
This is what I was talking about. Watch for Ferrier here. He's coming. Oh, yes. Gave it a nice touch at the very exit there. And he's continued on though, which is good news, I think. He's up in 15th at the moment, Farrier. Here's Cooley in the corner that caught him out yesterday.
Yeah. He's doing a good job. He just needs to step up his braking a bit. You can see he braked that early, had to actually got back into the throttle and drove it into the corner again. Yep. So
it's tough when you have a crash like that. You fix it up overnight. As Lance Hughes goes side by side here. You don't know if the thing's completely fixed until you get it on the racetrack the next day, in the race itself.
No, you don't, until you roll out and see what you got. Quite often there's something that's not quite right. It looks like he's settling in now and comfortable. So 0.8 of a second between our leaders.
So Anderson did a good job there to leapfrog the Hamilton asphalt centre on that lap of Lance Hughes. Lance was 3rd in the championship in 2013-14, so pretty handy peddler. Liam McDonald leading the way in Class 2. He's picked off Matt Tubbs with the monster rear wing on that car. Tubbs pulls out of the draft down the backstretch. Now it's a horsepower race.
I think once that wing gets a bit of drag on it, he's dragging the chute there for sure. Gets it back under brakes.
Good racing. Oh, it slides it out.
You sure that thing's not a drift car? Just
the way
rolled off the trailer for the weekend.
Looks like Shane Van Gisbergen could be driving it.
I'm not sure what regulation it fits into, but it's here racing. He's having a good time.
He goes back ahead of McDonald there. It's Lathrope, the MWM Civil entry. Showing some patience here.
Yeah, just breeze the throttle through the right-hander and just over the bumps. Getting a bit of a toe here, but not quite enough to have a serious go. Just shows in the nose.
He's got a funny way of holding the wheel through turn 1. It actually puts his thumb in the middle of the steering wheel.
Yeah, it seems to have a lot of bumps to that car.
He holds it with his palm. Oh, here we go. Ross has made an error and gets picked off for 2nd. This will relieve the pressure on the leader, Simon Evans. And now we've got a huge 4-car race for 2nd. This is alive and well for the podium spots. It's the highest Sam Barry's been.
Yeah, well, Ross has the speed to get back by him. See if he will or not. Barry will want to hold him up and hang on to that 2nd place, step on the podium.
Barry takes that similar high line through turn 1, driving around the bump, over the curbs.
And Bark's sitting there sniffing away, but watch how much he loses out down the straight here.
I think does want for a bit of power down here. He's got Alexander tucked in behind him.
He just gets smoked down the straight, which is frustrating. Has to go defensive because he doesn't want to get held up in the corners, which he does.
Oh, big lock up for Alexander. Can he hit the gap or does he hit Barks? Option B.
Option B, Barks will slip back in here and try and keep that spot. you block him off, he'll come over and cover him. So no way, mate.
I think Alexander didn't want to pass him, knowing that Bargwanna would know the redress rule more than anyone.
Yeah.
Decides to fall back in behind him instead. Gave him a decent hip and shoulder, just had it locked up.
Here it is here, throws it on in.
Oh, so that'll be when Ross went off on the previous lap down there. We also had this one for Farrier, bit of drift spec in the 63.
Yeah, trying to maximise his speed through the chicane, but it ends up running wide on the exit.
It's difficult to do. It's got sponsorship from RJ's Licorice, which is the New Zealand equivalent.
Here we go.
Darrell Lee. Here comes the big lock-up.
Whoa, he just tried to avoid hitting the back of...
Oh, and that Plus Fitness sticker, which he put on the car yesterday, goes squarely into the door of Jason Bargwanna. Bang.
Barg saw him coming. Just at the last minute, you could see Barg saw him coming and just opened up the steering and opted for the grass.
Oh, now it's a moment for Sam Barry. I thought he was going to go off the track, then he wiggled big time.
I reckon it'll be on here at the hairpin. Let's see what happens. Quite close enough.
Nissan versus Toyota. It's the Camry in second position. That Toyota's got some serious pull in a straight line as well. Very fast through that part of the track.
This is where the Nissan's strong, up over the top here.
You get a good run down this front straight.
See what he can do. Pulls out there. Well done. That's going to work.
Sam's wise to that one.
Yeah, maybe turn forward. He can be on his bumper here. Or throw it up the inside. He has a bit of a look. Has a bit of a look.
Sticks his nose in.
Yeah.
Not there. The 2014-15 NZ V8 U Champ prevails. And the big rear wing has come to a halt for Matt Tubbs. That's not a happy race car. We'll be coming into the pits this time. Oh, that's a big slide. Well, he was close to doing it last lap. Now he has, but can he get back through the chicane?
Just pinched the rears on the way in.
He's looking for him. He's looking for him. Can he get back to second? Yes.
But will he be allowed to keep that spot? I suppose he'll fight on and we'll find out.
Yep. Let the officials decide that one. Oh, and that was a really bad exit for Nick Ross then. He got sort of pinched at the exit. Lost a lot of momentum. There's Tubbs on his way back in.
This has allowed Bargs to sneak back up. Oh, he's run it wide over the grass, pulled a guard off it.
That was a big moment. Bargwanna will slip by.
He pounced. Bargs saw that coming a long way.
Oh, this is going to cost Alexander time. Barry limping. Look how hard that's been into the ground.
So that'll have a lot of understeer now. Car won't turn in the high-speed corners. He's got a tyre rub. He's best to just give it away and try and just salvage whatever he can for the points.
I don't think he realises how bad it is at the moment because he's still trying to fight.
Fighting like it's the last round of the world title. Lock it.
This will be driving Alexander wild because he just wants to get up there and fight with Bargwanna and he can't. The Camry is prevailing at the moment.
I'd be careful of that left front. If that pop's coming over the top of the hill onto the straight,
you're going for a ride.
That's going to be the world's biggest shunt.
Now, Nick Ross has gone straight through that chicane again, so they're all taking some liberties with it. Oh no, lap rope slowing. Maybe he's just getting out of the way, but...
This is where...
Oh no, he's got a problem. What a shame for the Dale ITM entry. He was looking good. And now Alexander gets to the inside.
And he just has to be real careful with that left front tyre.
Here it is again, Paul.
This runs it wide on the grass.
And a big tank slapper.
Yeah. And then it's just pulled the bottom half of the splitter off the front of the thing.
And two drivers running over that, Bargwanna and Alexander. We haven't seen a car actually bite in like this yet. Did it happen on the concrete bit? No, before it.
What looks like the car's moved and he's tried to check it on the steering wheel and then it's spun the other way once it's gripped up. So in that situation, you're just better off just breathing off the throttle and leaving the wheel alone.
Oops, we've got a rubbing guard here as well for Rob Wallace. The right front looking a bit damaged on this one. And he's going to go on with it too. What does that hit?
It's hit someone. Or a curb.
Or something.
Oh, there you go, more grass. Is that still debris from
earlier? I think so. The leaders will be in traffic now too. Oh, that bar's looking pretty bent out of shape down there at the moment.
Again, that right front, you want to... Okay, this is probably...
It's Barry calling it off.
Wouldn't be surprised if the right front was delaminated.
Oh, what a shame. Up in second position. He was fighting hard in the Camry. Tyres holding on at the moment, but it looks pretty broken.
Thing to do. You're pretending it's not happening. You're trying to stay out and hope it'll come good, but it doesn't. And eventually, you just have to come to the realisation that you're going to pit.
This thing is running perfectly. No problems for the Smeg Commodore. Just a little scrape on that door from earlier. Brad Lathrope cruising around trying to pick up some points still, or is he going to come in this time by? He's down there at turn. He's just waving to himself, having a great time.
He's just out there watching TV.
He's going to keep it in second gear and pick up some points. Only probably 2 laps to go at the end of this one, so not a long time for him to bring it back. Can they get this car out to get some points? Tubbs' car in the pits, they had some oil pressure issues. Yeah,
they'll be checking. There'll be an oil cooler in there as well as a radiator, so they'll just be making sure that they don't smoke an engine down.
Oh, this is wild. Conroy out of shape, and he's got the traffic here. Now, Nick Ross was into the back of that Conroy car yesterday, I think.
That's Barks working his way through traffic, and he's managed to range up on the back of Ross again.
Fight for second is on. They go past Farrier.
Clear him.
Oh. Puff of smoke from Bargwanna's car. Uh-oh, that looks bad. It's coming out of the exhaust, and it's blue. That does not look good at all.
Well, I say they get faster just before they blow up, so it needs 2 more laps. Might be enough.
Grenade himself on the in-lap.
Yep.
Well, he's got about 4 Ks to continue on here. Lathrope, the mobile chicane, trying to get as many points as possible at the moment.
That's pretty cool. Barks is just wheeling that thing through the complex, trying to stay with him.
It's been an entertaining race.
And down the straights, he'd be like just so frustrated.
Nice day for a couple of cold ones up in the Virgin Australia Paddock Club. Great view of the track up there as they wheel around the last corner. This is the last lap for Simon Evans. He's going to go 2 from 2 here, Paul. Looking very fast this weekend.
Yeah, 8-second lead, class of the field, form driver. And as we said yesterday, drove in this car with SVG in the endurance part of the Super Tourist Series and was similar pace as Shane.
Well, he's putting a lap on Liam McDonald, who's our Class 2 leader. This is becoming a familiar sight. Now, that's not a lock-up. This has also maybe got a motor going on it. This is the walking wounded Nick Ross now, with smoke pouring out of his exhaust.
That'll put Bargs up to second.
And he's going to send it off the racetrack. Well, he's the only guy who's kept his nose clean at the moment.
Well, he's clean, and Barks has just stayed out of trouble as well. Maximise his opportunities. He'll get second.
Well, there's first in Class 1 and first in Class 2 across the finish line. Great work, Liam McDonald. Oh, no, Barks is backwards. What is going on?
Put
huge kiss of death on him. This will put Alexander to second. Here he comes. The fight with Cooley. It's Anderson from Cooley. They will be potentially 3rd and 4th. Alexander does get home for second. And I think that'll be Anderson 3rd. Yes, Cooley 4th.
I hope we get to see the replay of what happened to Barks. Did it finally blow up?
Has he slipped on oil from anyone? The track was probably covered.
Not
you know
sure.
what? Qualifying's up next, isn't it, as well, for the supercars, and it's going to be a very dirty racetrack out there.
Oh, we've got to see a replay of this. This will be gold. If he's messed it up, can you imagine the stick he's going to get from all the main game drivers?
Oh, no, there was potentially help. Now, Anderson was involved.
I don't think Anderson was close enough to get to him, was he?
Yeah, but I reckon Bards is slowing down with potential engine
oil
dramas.
out of this thing, maybe?
The Ross car had a misfire, then the engines died. I don't know if Bards got help then.
No, it's
maybe
seized up.
On oil.
Maybe the engine seized, or because the rears were locked. The rears were just locked out of control.
Man.
Anyway, it's going to be... A couple of boys are going to be ribbing him, I think. The next driver's briefing is going to be pretty good.
Bargs is out of the car. Second position's gone begging there in a highly entertaining race. Evans gets the win. Tom Alexander will sneak in there for second. Tony Anderson up there on 3rd.
Those guys will be pumped, so
that was a
they're
good result
be on the podium, and that's a great reward for those guys and their teams.
McDonald getting the win in his class. And Brad Lathrope limping to 18th position. Barry never made it back. Tubbs never made it back.